All right, here we go with one of the most amazing little stories of World War II, what we call the little ships of Dunkirk. Previous lecture, we had talked about kind of the Battle of France. Then after the Battle of France, I kind of described to you what was going on in terms of this moment of darkness and how bad things got. And here we are around May, June of 1940. The Battle of France is over, and the British have a massive number of troops stuck in Dunkirk. So where is Dunkirk and what happens? What is the little ship of Dunkirk? Well, let me give you some details on this. You definitely want to know this moving forward. So here we go. So it was something called Operation Dynamo, and Dunkirk, and let me kind of highlight it over here so you can see it, is right over here in northern France, right? And the British had sent hundreds of thousands of forces, what we call the British Expeditionary Force, to France to fight there because everybody assumed that's where the battle was going to take place, right? And they had hundreds of thousands of soldiers there. But then, of course, we know that the French fall. It's a mess during World War II, and the British are like, they have no backup. This is not what we planned. We need to get them back home. The problem was the British Navy was a little bit busy at the time, dealing with the German Navy. So what did the British do? The British basically put out a call to all the citizens in civilians in England. Do you have a boat? Do you have any sort of boat? Do you have a shipping vessel, a merchant vessel? Heck, do you have a fishing boat, right? Pretty much anything do you have? Do you have a little ship that we could use to cross the English Channel and bring these soldiers back home? Oh, and by the way, we have virtually no Air Force or extra air support or extra naval support to defend these ships. What do you say? Can we use your ships? And without fail, one British civilian after another was more than happy to give their ships, and some even they didn't offer up their ships. They went. They literally got in their boats themselves. Civilians got in boats, crossed the English Channel. And there's a movie that in 2017 I put here called Dunkirk that they did. I was so happy when this movie came out because I've been lecturing on this for years, and then the movie came out, like yay, because they did a great job, showing what it was like there on the beach, and it kind of there's three parts to the movie. And it's like the beach, all those soldiers you saw in the previous image, just stranded there. You have the story of the ships trying to cross. You have the aerial because you had a couple RAF pilots trying to defend them. And they managed. They did it. They rescued over 300,000, about 330,000 British soldiers were saved, and they were able to be brought back to England and be able to regroup and be able to fight against the Nazis in World War II. And if it wasn't for these little ships of Dunkirk, it would have been, obviously the blood total. I mean, obviously not all 330,000 of these soldiers would have been killed, but a lot of them would have been killed, and a lot would not have been able to be gone back and be able to protect the British. So if you want to see a good movie that captures this, that movie Dunkirk in 2017, that was really good. But mainly, I just want people to be familiar with this story, and again, it shows you the nature of the civilians being part of the war effort and not giving up. And so with those soldiers back home, now we can get into the next story, and I'm just going to do a whole separate lecture on that, and that's the Battle of Britain. And of course, that's going to be a pretty cool topic. You could take a whole course on the Battle of Britain, but I'm just going to cover it in one little short lecture for you here in our next lecture. All right, so that's it really quick on the little ships of Dunkirk. Thank you.